Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Roundup. We have three great questions in the Roundup this week. I have chosen to talk about something that's coming up a lot, and it has to do with meta glasses and recording in your practice. Look, I'm going to simplify this for you. Meta glasses are a recording device, and you should have policies and safeguards against recording devices in your practice. But you cannot put policies in place that might violate specific federal laws, which I'll get into at the end of this. So the question is it was brought to my, someone wrote this in, it was brought to my attention that an employee who wears meta glasses to the office recorded themselves working on a patient and then uploaded the video to social media. I do not currently have any restrictions in place regarding meta glasses in the office, but this situation makes me think maybe I should. Can I prohibit employees from wearing them while working? How should I address the now public video? Is there a component in here where the patient even knows that they were recorded? Like, was it a family member that they did this with? Was it a non-family member? By the way, it wouldn't matter. I could rephrase this question. Can I allow an employee to record stuff where a patient's PHI is at? And should I have a policy against it? And the answer is yes. Yes, you should have that. So in this instance, it's pretty egregious. This employee's judgment is in question. I would recommend, first of all, in accordance with HIPAA, there's that word. In accordance with HIPAA, you're supposed to train employees. You're also supposed to identify what PHI is for them, take them through the training process, which is something that CEDR offers. And you're supposed to take remedial steps when they break that. And HHS actually requires that you distribute a policy to employees that tell them that if they were to break this policy and reveal PHI, that they could be fired for it. And so you do need that policy in place. However, when you put policies in place, you got to be careful. Again, I'll talk about that here in just 1 second. Look, from the human side of this is just bad judgment. I'm not sure that this person should be even driving a car in public. Anybody who would come into a health care facility who works there, record people and then post it up on TikTok has, I don't think that they can keep working for you. So again, I don't like to just dole out advice and say fire somebody unless we have systems in place and we understand everything that's going on. But in this instance, I think that termination should be strongly considered. I think that you should order that employee to the best of your ability to take that video down. You want it on record that when you discovered it, you want to be able to show Health and Human Services, who are probably going to come and investigate this, because once you run through this process, the process of determining whether or not this is a reportable instance underneath your HIPAA policies, I think you're probably going to have to tell HHS and the patient about this. You want it on record that you took the proper steps, you fired the employee, and you demanded that they take that video down. If you had a good policy in place, you would be covered. I've just given you a lot of information. Here's the thing. Without the proper policy in place, you do not have the passive protection of that policy, which says, I informed employees of this issue. I had a policy against it. I told them I'd fire them if they revealed PHI in an egregious manner. I explained what PHI is, and I have a program in place and a policy that proves that I trained this employee, and then they broke the policy and they broke the training. So if you have all the other things in place, you have some passive protection. So even as bad as this is, the penalties would be far less. Now, let's talk about the policy. You cannot leave this video and just say, oh my God, I haven't covered this right. And you've been writing your own policies, and just grab a policy and put it in your employee handbook. The issue here is that it has to be written properly and to a very specific set of standards so that it can be used and enforced, and so that it won't contain something or any language which would violate something underneath the National Labor Relations Act, which actually does protect employees and makes it so that they can record something that might impact their safety, their working conditions, or perhaps they want to show something about why they want to organize that's going wrong in a business. That doesn't typically apply. Nonetheless, you cannot have that language in your policy when it comes to banning recording in your practice. This has not been a fun roundup. This is kind of scary stuff. You guys need to recognize what those meta glasses look like. They're the same as if someone walked in with a camera crew. with mics in the air and a camera on their shoulder, and they're walking into your practice and they're going to start recording. You wouldn't allow that. You have the same obligation when it comes to any of these surreptitious recordings by meta classes and those sorts of things. If you have any follow-up on this, you can always ask me questions. You know that. You can join HR Basecamp over on Facebook. Also, we're always available in the notes. We're always available. There's ways to get in touch and submit your questions. If you have another HR question you'd like for me to answer, hope you guys have a great day.